Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Eve of the Crusade. Let me share this out to a couple of Discords. Our own Alliance Discord and the official Discord. But yeah, we are using our AP in the most efficient way possible, which is by killing a lot of Marauders. Oh, you know what? I need to change my keyboard. I will do that real quick after I send this out. Hope everybody's doing well today. Hopefully some of you are also grinding Marauders, so we can just do it alongside each other and help each other pass the time. That's pretty much the goal here. And I'll be right back. Let me grab a quieter keyboard for y'all. All right, that should be a little bit quieter. Let's see if everything is set up right. Oops. Let me mute my own stream. All right. Looks like people are jumping on, which is great. So yeah, we're just gonna kill some Marauders and talk about the KVK we have coming up, which I think should be a really good KVK. I think with the matchup is basically set up to be the best possible, closest possible match. So yeah, it's going to be an Orleans KVK, 3 versus 3. And looks like a pretty fair fight. We're going up against 1818 is our main competitor, which is Cigar King's Kingdom. Here they are in 6th place in honor so far. We are 2nd in honor to our campmates, 1718. We got a really good campmate for this KVK. Orhan, welcome. I'm doing well. Hopefully you are Hopefully you are also. Let me know if the audio and the music sounds good, everybody. Should be working right, but you never know. And yeah, so we ended up getting a really good campmate, which is one of the nice things about being in a Korean kingdom. I guess we're like considered a Korean kingdom, even though half the kingdom speaks English or some other language other than Korean. But we almost always get paired with a Korean kingdom in our camps. And this 1718 kingdom, which I was unaware of, I didn't know this kingdom existed, even though they're, an A kingdom that's Korean, that's near the same age as our kingdom. And they have 6 stars. They literally have 6 stars. Naga, what's up? I'm good. How's your Marauder killing going? Yeah, so they've got 4 Strife of the 8 wins and then 2 Heroic Anthem wins. So I did not even know this kingdom existed, but we have got them as campmates for this KVK, and they're off to a really good start in this Marauder farming. They're in first place right now, and we are in second place. Although I imagine we will pass them soon because it's getting late in Korea, whereas we still have plenty of people who are wide awake. Natsu, welcome. Lots of players from my alliance jumping on YouTube because we're all up to the same stuff. We are all killing these Marauders. And I'm just going to give me 1 second. Let me just mute the music real quick, and then I will bring it right back. I just want to see how my audio sounds. All right. Looks like everything's good. Let me just start using my less clicky mouse. All right. Are you guys in the top 10 or the top 100 in honor? I'm getting a little bit of a slow start on this one. I, kind of slept through the first few hours, and I was working overnight. So I'm not in the top 100 right now, but I assume when this stream is over that I will be in the top 100. Aloys, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully things are good with you, Aloys, and you're enjoying the spoils of victory in your KVK. My favorite part of any KVK is after the war is over, when everyone on my team is in a good mood because we won, and we can just chill out and chain barbs, do high-level barb forts, and just collect, and farm. Farm level 4 gem nodes, farm really high resource tiles, and just, progress our accounts really fast. I don't know if a big kingdom like 365 sees it the same way as growth potential at the end of a KVK, but I always enjoy it. Natsu is 37th right now. Nice. Yeah, I was surprised at how quickly I was able to get into the top, 200 or so. Because this is not a super small KVK, right? I mean, you have 2 kingdoms in each camp. So it's not super small. But it seems like top 100 in honor is going to be pretty darn easy. But one thing I want to do is I want to keep track of how much AP I spend during this stream. So let me just write it down real quick. I'm not going to use any of the hundreds. I'm going to just use like 50s. 905 50s. I have 302 of these. And I have only 9 of these. Okay, I've been burning through these thousands. I started the day with like 35 of them. So I've just been burning through the thousands. But I'm going to keep track of how much AP I use, right? Like starting, whatever. I started with what, like maybe 1,000. I've already used 1,000. And then I'll just keep track of what I use. Or what did I just put in? Oh no, I've used like 3,000 already. I've used 3,000, and I have, what do I have left? I think I have like 9,000s left. Honestly, you can't find any nodes in Kingsland. It's too full, and same for Barbs. Only reason to stay in Kingsland is to hit forts. And 255 gig up so quick, we were kind of salty about it. We didn't get to kill off enough troops. Right, right. That's why I was sort of saying maybe you feel differently about it, because as much as it might be nice to kill some Barbs and get a little bit of progress that way, it sort of pales in comparison to the fact that you're going to have to delete troops. But yeah, that's crazy that there's no room to Barb chain. You can't go to like Zone 6 and Barb chain there? I mean, those Zone 6s are pretty damn big. That's what I'll usually do. I'll leave Kingsland. I won't chain in Kingsland. I'll just go to like Zone 6 and chain there. In the last KVK we played in the Warriors Unbound, where we had literally one kingdom in each camp, oh my gosh, I would go days without seeing anyone. I would go to Zone 6 and literally just chain for days and not walk past a single other march. And I am big time traveling around the map today too. This is pretty wild. I'm literally, as you may have noticed, I'm literally not losing health with these marches. 4 of these are tier 4 cav. One, the Belisarius, is like a mix of T4 and tier 5 cav. And they are not losing health, which I have never experienced before with Barbs. Ella says you can go to Z6 and hit Barbs. I'm usually in starting zone farming. Yeah, yeah. Well, starting zone's not bad either. I mean, you can get some pretty close to max level Barbs in start zone, even. And if you're chaining with multiple marches, the start zone can sometimes be better just because your weaker chaining marches will just stay alive for a really long time. Let me actually say something in game chat also. Here, let me wait. I'm gonna try to be like efficient with my stream and kill Marauders at the same time. I'm basically going to, I've put myself in a corner here, but I'm not, I'm gonna always move, always be moving or always be killing, and then in between while I'm traveling, I'll do other stuff in the game. Enemies are still running around Z6 killing farmers, so can't farm there. It's really annoying. Gotcha. So there's like no peace deal. There's no peace deal in the 254, 365 KVK, which makes sense. You guys should have some very easy invades of some. Oh, can you invade start zones on the Orleans map? Maybe you can't. I guess it is entirely possible that start zones won't be invaded on Orleans, since that's the case on Warriors Unbound. But yeah, this is by far the most efficient barb chaining that I've been able to do. For the simple fact that my marches are really fast, 4 tier 4 cavalry, and 1 T5 cavalry march. but they're like really nicely speed tuned, right? They're speed tuned quite nicely, and none of them are losing health. You cannot invade start zones. Gotcha. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm sure it would have been nice to invade 254. Yeah, I haven't heard about too many big zeros in your KVK either, alloys. I'm sure there's been a few, but haven't really seen many get linked in game chat, and haven't seen many videos about big zeros either. War Daddy Chad took those city rallies, but that was not really a zeroing, and obviously he knew it was happening. All right, let me, I need to start helping the economy, the trade economy, get going here. Lorenko, welcome to the stream. Lorenko asks, can you give me KVK 2 commander pairs? I'm a cavalry player, free to play. Alright, so you don't have Mina, Lorenko. You know, I would say the best March, Lorenko, is going to either be Baybar's Sun Tzu or Baybar's Ethelfled. Baybar's is going to be your best KVK cavalry commander from an epic perspective. So I would go Baybar's Sun Tzu as your main march, or Baybar's Ethelfled, whichever one you prefer. I mean, I guess Baybar's Ethelfled is probably a little bit better, I would say. And honestly, I wouldn't really run anything else. That's really the only cav march I would run, Lorenko, is Baybar's with either Sun Tzu or Ethel. I don't think anything else is really worth it. You know, you could do something like, if you really, really wanted to, you could do like Pelagius Cow Cow. That was like an old school march that was decent. Or you could do like Pelagius Sun Tzu and Baybar's Ethel. But I honestly think you'll have the most success with like Baybar's Ethel, because it's just like a very solid march. Baybar's first, Belly second. I have YSG at 5524 and Ethelfled expertise. Okay, so you could use YSG also, I guess. Baybar's Belly. I don't know. To me, Baybar's Belly is way worse than Baybar's Sun Tzu or Baybar's Ethel, because Belly just doesn't give you much. It's not giving you AoE, and it doesn't really do that much damage. I mean, I guess it's a little bit fast, but the thing about Baybar's and Belly is like their skills overlap. You know, Baybar's has the skill when it's leaving battle, it heals a portion of its wounded units and gains march speed. Lorenko, thank you for the follow. And then Baybar's also, or Belisarius also has, after leaving battles, true march speed gets increased by 50% for 10 seconds. So they have basically the exact same skill. They have the exact same speed boost leaving combat. So you just don't really need the Belly with the Baybars. If anything, Lorenko, what I would do is I would do like, again, Baybar's Sun Tzu or Baybar's Ethel. And then you could maybe run like Pelagius Belisarius, because even though it's not like a great march, at least you get that speed boost from the Belly, and you can get away easily. Like you can kite the enemy, you can avoid getting hit. And so like, if you have very good march control, you could potentially do well with that march, just because it's fast and can escape very easily. Sun, welcome to the chat. All right, so some Koreans are gonna hang out. I like that. Ally says not many big zeroings. Once they surrendered, they all went back to starting zones or home KP. Yeah. Yep. That is the responsible thing for leadership to do, is to tell people to leave. So you avoid any crazy mistakes, like some key player getting zeroed. But yeah, Lorenko, what I would do is I would just, oh, you were thinking they stack on each other? I don't think they do. You know, I don't think they do. I'm sure I would have heard about it if they did. Because that would literally give you like 100% march speed boost when leaving combat. But yeah, Lorenko, what I would do is I would, you know, max the YSG and then probably build Zug. I know it sounds like you're a Cav player, but I would probably go YSG into Zug. And then probably work on Nevsky after that. You could build Nevsky first also and do like a Nevsky YSG march if, you know, you're like really committed to being Cav. But I do think the main transition is going to be from Zug into YSG. Or if you build YSG first, I think the main transition is going to be going to Zug. I'm going to just go over here because I'm trying to get further away from the center of this map. I kind of walked the wrong way here, I guess. I don't know, Zone 2 just feels like a little bit crowded. I'd rather go to Zone 1. So we're going to do a bit of a walk here. We will do a bit of a walk. I guess we can hit some stuff on the way. Orange, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Are we in first place yet? No. 17-18 is like really grinding hard today. Very impressive. Very impressive. Lorenko says that I might gonna do Baybars with Ethel, full Cav March, and I wanted to use YSG in some March because I did big invest on him. Yeah, you could also do you could do Baybars YSG if you wanted to do one March. Or you could do like Baybars Ethel plus Sun Tzu YSG. You know, Sun Tzu YSG is like a classic early KVK march. And yeah, you would do full Cav with that Baybars Ethel. Yeah, you just do full Cav. Alright, let me start trading here. Let me start trading a little bit here. Let's grease the wheels of commerce. For those who don't know, Marauders are really the best way to use AP in the game. I think with barb chaining, you know, barb chaining in Lost Kingdom, in order to get the same value from your AP as you would get from Marauders, you need to kill 2.5. 2.5 barbs per, you know, to get the same value as you would from a Marauder. And so this is just like a great way to convert your AP. I was very diligent in the off season about doing 1+1 forts and also doing barb camps. I was actually checking my AP like constantly. It was kind of the main thing that motivated me to grind in the off season, which is looking at my AP and being like, how much do I have? How much will I have? How much AP will I be able to use on Marauders? So it's just like that endless grind. This is like a highlight part of the endless grind of this game for us low spenders and free-to-play who are trying to be real optimal. Alex will be better 5511 than using Sun Tzu with YSG. Yeah, I would go Alex 5511 with YSG instead. But I wouldn't put any more heads into Alex. I would just like leave him where he is, and after YSG I would go straight to Season of Conquest Commanders. So when I was looking at my AP earlier today, I had about 160k AP, and my goal is to use 100k. So I'll use 100k on Marauders, then I'll use maybe 10,000 AP on stage 3, and I'll go into Lost Kingdom with 50,000 AP. And that is not a ton. That is not a ton of AP. But I think I can make it last. I think I can make it last for the whole KVK. Because I do a lot of chaining. You get a lot of AP from the Ruined Crusader Fort. And I've just never really used more than about 50k AP in Lost Kingdom. I mean, obviously I use more than that, but I just get so much back that I've been alright. Thanks. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, thanks. I'm hoping this is an instant classic, actually. To me, this is like one of the things I really wanted to become a live streamer for, is just being able to do stuff like Marauders, you know? Because I'm going to be doing this stuff regardless. I'm going to be sitting here killing Marauders regardless. So if I can do it while live streaming, while hanging out with you all, and hopefully making the stream more fun for other people, or hopefully making this day more fun for other people who are grinding, then that to me is like a really good use of a YouTube channel. White Castle, welcome. How's your Marauder killing going, buddy? Is White Castle a big Marauder killer? I'm not even sure. There's Sun and I done. Yeah, it doesn't look like White Castle's in the top 100, but then again, neither am I. Hi, Rue. Lorenko says, alright, because I did 551 Alex, and the day after they did the update when they said SLC Commander is going to appear in KVK 3. Haha. Yeah, I figured that, man. When you said you had the Alex, but you were like, you know, planning out what you wanted to do and being real thoughtful about it, I was like, you know what? You probably built that Alex before they made that announcement. Yeah, I mean... yeah, I guess you're in a bit of a tough spot, Lorenko. But at least you didn't max Alex first, right? Like, at least you put more of your heads into YSG. Alright, let me see if I can be a little bit more efficient here and start, like, right-clicking. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. Oh my gosh, what am I doing, bro? Alright. Alright, that was a mistake. But from now on, I'm going to try to right-click and be real fast moving around this map. Friggin' waste of AP. Friggin' waste of hard-earned AP there. On the misclick. You normally waste how much AP Marauders? Lorenko, the last time I did it, I used 100,000 AP, and I got about 250 Marauder chests. To be exact, I got 251 Marauder chests. I know that because I made a YouTube video about it. And where can you farm those bottles at? Barbarian Forts. Yeah, the best way to earn bottles is Barbarian Forts. Definitely. Definitely. You just got to do the 1+1 forts, either with a teammate or with your own alt. And, you know, if you just spend your AP every day doing 1+1 forts, then you'll be able to... It's two things at once, basically, right? You're getting a rebate on the 150 AP that you spend. You're getting a rebate of 50 to 100 AP on most forts because you're getting those bottles back. So it's nice to get the rebate. But the other thing is that you're converting the free AP you have that you are forced to use each day into bottles that you can use for whatever you want. You know, you're using like the free AP in order to generate AP that you can be very selective with and use on something like Marauders. So yeah, Barb Forts are the best, but Barb Camps are also very good. If you're in a kingdom where other people aren't doing the Barb Camps, you can also get AP from those. So yeah, I used about 100k last time, and my goal is to use a bit more than that this time. I'm going to use about 120k this time, hopefully. Iron Hand drops 100 AP bottles like 25% of the time. That sounds a little high to me, Banks. 25% of the time? That sounds a little high to me. I would say it's more like... 10 to 15%. That's my estimate. I don't know which of us have done more with Barb Camps, though. I have done a lot, though. Hello, hello. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, Whisper. Kuma, welcome. Algebra, welcome. Yeah, man, I'm on the grind. I'm on the grind. I mean, we have to get first place, right? We got to be in first. All right, I think I'm gonna adjust my position a little bit. I'm just gonna bring the mic with me, and hopefully it sounds okay. I honestly like to just like lean back in my chair. I kick my feet up on the windowsill, and I just relax. I just relax while I'm doing this. So hopefully it still sounds all right, because I did just readjust everything. But yeah, I mean, I'm honestly like really happy with how things are going activity-wise with this. We're allied with red and with green, so right now we have the top 4 spots in honor. And then our 2 biggest opponents are 1818, which is in 6th place, and 1903, which is down here in 11th. So 1903 is a strong kingdom. They have a lot of KP, and they actually chose to ally with 1818 instead of with us because they wanted a hard fight. So I give them a lot of credit for that. but I am a little surprised at their low activity so far. And yeah, I'm really happy with our activity. Really, really happy with our activity. So after Expertise YSD, should I go for Nevsky? Lorenko, it depends on if you've put like a ton of effort into your cavalry gear. Like if you have legendary cavalry gear, then I guess you would build Nevsky. But in my opinion, Lorenko, you would be better off building Zug Liang first and running Zug YSG. Because number one, YSG pairs better with Zug than with Nevsky. And number two, Zug is a better commander than Nevsky. But if you have like legendary cav gear and you really want to build Nevsky, then that would be okay. It would be okay. I mean, it wouldn't be like a huge mistake, and YSG Nevsky can do quite well in Season of Conquest. But I think Zug YSG would do better. And I guess that would mean you're going to start to become an archer player. But you're not really becoming an archer player. You're just building Zug YSG, and then you can build Nevsky Joan after that. You know. Pink, welcome. How's your Marauder grinding going, Pink? Oh man, where am I? And yeah, with the migration that we did in recently, I was curious to see what our activity would be like. You know, if it would like... I knew our activity would be good. You know, we're just have more active players than we've ever had. But I didn't know how that would translate into scoring on this, you know, this first day of Eve, which really is the best sort of ping or measure of activity that I think probably exists in the game. Maybe Ruined Crusader Fort is a better test of activity, but not really. I would say this is the best test of activity that exists. And I would say we're just at expectations. I sort of thought we'd be for sure in the lead, but we're actually tied with a kingdom that's smaller than us. But I do think we're going to open up a lead over the next 8 hours. And so our activity might be like really impressive looking by the time this day is over. That remains to be seen. Should I skip Saladin, right? Yeah, definitely skip Saladin. Definitely skip Saladin. I need to figure out if I'm going to max Saladin, actually. I'm like pretty close to maxing him. And I'm about to finish Guan on the daily special bundles. So I'm just deciding if I want to spend the money to max Saladin. It's probably, you know, it's maybe $100, 120 bucks to max Saladin. And I just don't know if that's worth it or not. I don't know how long I'm going to use him. I feel like I'll probably replace the Saladin before I replace the XY. But maybe I'll want to replace the Attila Takeda before I replace the Saladin. And Saladin's ult is like it's pretty nice. I feel stupid not maxing it sooner, honestly, because I've used this guy for years now. The 50% slow is so much better than the 30% slow, and you get a bit more damage. I think having used this guy for so long, I mean, I have a ton of kills with this dude. I think it was pretty much a mistake to not max him a long time ago. Thanks for saying I don't do any Gen 2 commanders. Yeah, I think that's the new meta. The new meta in New Kingdoms is not to do any Gen 2 commanders. No, Saladin are not that good. For Guan, yes. Could be, could be. Yeah, I'm leaning your way, Zhang, to not max Saladin, to not spend $100 on maxing Saladin. But that's only because, you know, my investing has been slow lately. Work's been a little slow. If I made a bit more money, I would totally justify spending $100 to finish off Saladin. I'd be like, oh, you know, the slow. You're going to get some nasty slow on people in KVK, and it's going to help all your other marches take it down. But yeah, I'm glad I maxed the Guan, because I'm going to use the Guan for so long. Banks says, only commander worthy of sculpture in KVK 1-2 is YSG, and even that's arguable. Yes, I agree. Although Minamoto, I think it's still correct to buy, if you're a spender in the game, I think it still makes sense to build Minamoto, because then once you get to SOC, you can build Nevsky first, and immediately have a Nevsky Mina march that is a very good march. And then you could build like Boudica Zug after that. And so then you could have 2 marches. Like the Mina would allow you to have 2 marches. So I actually think Mina almost makes more sense than YSG. HDT, welcome. How's Vietnam, buddy? Lorenko says, so after YSG, I should go for Zug Lang, and then after Nevsky. All right. I have a lot of time till I'm done with all that. Haha. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's a crazy game. But it's great that people are still, you know, it's great that we still have new players joining. And I think the issue, right, the issue that Lilith must be aware of, and they're making these risky decisions, is that they want to keep they want new players to keep coming into the game. It's very, very important, right? Like the new player experience in this game is so effing important. It's important to all of us, you know? We need the new player experience to be fun. And now at this point, we also need the transition to Season of Conquest to be not super annoying, you know? Newer players need to have fun early on in Season of Conquest. And, you know, I haven't thought about it a ton. I have not thought about the decision that Lorenko is dealing with, where now it doesn't make sense to build early commanders because he can use SOC commanders in KVK 3. I haven't thought about it a ton. I haven't really like mapped out the implications. But just on my first impression of the decision, I actually think it's a good one. I actually think Lilith made a good play with it. Like, let's just be real about the fact that, you know, we want people to be in Season of Conquest. And the transition was so brutal, right? The transition was so brutal. Because people would build Alex, they'd build YSG, and they would come to SOC with no gold heads and be so outmatched running around with Alex YSG. Let's just scrap that, right? Like, I still think the first two KVKs can be fun using like Mina, Baybars, Ethel, Sun Tzu. Right? Like, I think you can still have fun using those commanders. I mean, you could even get, if you're like a spender, you could even get Mechmed to like 5511 And you could run around with like Mina Mechmed in KVK 1 and 2. I think that's a pretty strong march. And at the end of the day, everyone's going to be doing it. Like everyone in KVK 2 is going to be not building Saladin, not building Alex. Way less people are going to build YSG. Zeng says Saladin can do nothing against Boudica Zhugliang, immune. One Scipio pretty solid, not gonna lie. Saladin can do nothing against Boudica Zhugliang, immune. That's a good point actually. I didn't think about that. Is that they cleanse his slow quite often. Yeah. And I guess they also cleanse the heal. The heal reduction on Boudica also gets cleansed. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point. That is a very good point, Zeng. I forgot about that, actually. That's the one thing that, I mean, everyone's saying that, like, Boudica Zug is, like, the best march in the game. But the only thing that's weird to me about that is, you know, why have the cleanse on 2 commanders? You know, it's counterproductive to have that cleanse, like, to have a double cleanse. You almost want to spread that cleanse out more, I think. But then, like, who do you pair Boudica with? I mean, I guess the play is Zug Nebu or Henry Zug, Zug Nebu or Henry Zug, and then Boudica YSG. Oops, let's go over here. HGT says Vietnam is hot AF. I'm dying. Oh, dude, I would love it. I bet I would love it. Unless it's like crazy humidity, I bet I would love the Vietnamese heat. I'm a lizard. I love the heat. I say as I sit here in air conditioning, having not gone outside since about 2 a.m. Zeng says, I would say KVKs 1 and 2 are fun because it's still left a bit fairness. Yeah, okay, it's fair, but except the only thing is, Zeng, don't like people who migrate back have like even more... Aren't people who migrate back even more overpowered now? Because they have the Saladins, they have the Alexes, they have the YSGs, and like no one else does. So aren't migrants back even more overpowered now? And once they get into KVK Season 3, then they can use all their SOC commanders right away. So the only issue, and this has always been the issue, the only issue with the early game is that it's so appealing for so many people to migrate back. Because 1, there's no crystal tech, and 2, they're absolute badasses. They're sort of mediocre in Season of Conquest, and they migrate back, and all of a sudden they're Chuck Norris. And that hurts the early game experience for the new players. And it makes it harder for SOC kingdoms to recruit. Lorenko says, they making this chain makes the game a lot different, and that's good, because before this update, everyone knew what to invest in and which order, so it was repeating at the same time. Yeah, I do like that there's a little bit more strategy and a little bit more like theory crafting and debate around what to build early on. Although I think the optimal theory craft is literally just build nothing. Paranoia, welcome to the stream. Good evening to you. It's actually morning here. It's like the dead beginning of the morning. It's not even 9 a.m. I literally started streaming at 8 a.m., which is crazy for me. It's capped at 30 crusties and migrants at least. Yeah, it's capped, but I think most kingdoms don't even get that. At least from what I heard. Eli said that, you know, even though he had like a very successful new kingdom in 25-23, he said that he didn't really get very many migrants back, and that none of his opponents in KVK2 got too many migrants back either. Which is a little surprising actually, because when I used to try to recruit, when I used to go on the official ROK Discord and try to recruit, you know, you would scroll through all these messages of people looking for kingdoms, and for every one applicant you would find that wanted an SOC kingdom, there would be 9 applicants who wanted KVK2 kingdoms. And I'm sure that's still the case to some degree. So, I mean, yeah, it's... I wish I was smart enough to think about ways to make the early game experience better, right? There probably are some ways. I mean, the main thing is they need to give armaments from the beginning of the game. That's what I would say. Wouldn't it be better to give armaments right from the very beginning? I assume the reason you can't get armaments at the start of the game is for balance reasons. Like they feel the early game is balanced enough and they don't want to screw it up with formations. But that's what sets back new players, is they get to see SOC and everyone has really strong armaments and they don't have anything. Zeng says, yeah, people that migrate back are just ruining KVK2. You're right, 100%. Yeah, it's a tough situation because... Yeah, Zeng, I mean, I could certainly argue that they should just not allow migration back. I could certainly argue that, because at the end of the day, for the health of the game and for the health of a player's account, they are literally better off not migrating back and just going into SOC immediately. Because, like, the rewards are way better. The Barbarian rewards in Lost Kingdom are way better. And they get their armaments right away. Like, migrating back, if you're like a new player, you do KVK 3 and then you decide to migrate back immediately, you're setting your account back because you're not getting the better barbs, you're not getting the better SOC rewards, you're not getting the inscriptions at the end of KVK, and you're not rolling for armaments every single day for free. So they could just cut away all migration back. You know, that, and just get everybody to SOC faster and faster. And then what they could do is, instead of giving you a 1 SOC, a 1 KVK window where you're fighting against other newer kingdoms, increase that window to 2. You know, give new kingdoms to SOC 2 KVKs where they only fight against new kingdoms. They could do something like that. So then literally people have 5 KVKs. The first 5 KVKs they play are all against kingdoms that are the same age as them. You know, that seems all right. That gives people plenty of time to get like 2 quality marches, to let like free-to-plays and low spenders get 2 quality SLC marches, get some decent armaments, and then they go into the what do we call the main SOC? I don't want to call it the elite ranks, because certainly there's a bunch of kingdoms that are not elite. It gets them to the end game. It gets them to the end game with 2 nice marches, good equipment, good armaments, and they can play the end game fairly well. Or just remove migrating back from higher seasons for KVK1, maybe allow 3, I don't know. Yeah, maybe just allow people to migrate back from that early SOC window. Zeng uses Boudica Zug and Nebu YSG. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I do, Zeng, I do like the idea of putting the cleanse on both marches, though, right? All right, where are we? I think the slowdown I'm looking at is, yeah, these. I haven't been opening my satchels. I have not been opening my satchels. Oh, we're easily going to get to top 100. Easily get to top 100. All right, so I've gone through all my thousands, which is fine. We're just sort of keeping track of the AP use. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I literally put no effort into planning these marches. I put almost no effort into putting gear on the various marches, but look how nicely speed tuned these are. Like, look how nicely speed tuned these marches are. The belly's faster here, right? On the close ones, the belly's faster, but the belly is also the only one of these 5 marches that has tier 5, because I didn't have enough tier 4 to fill out all the marches. So like even the quote unquote slower march, the tier 5 march, is speed tuned very well with the other ones. Now on this longer walk here, I think the belly's gonna be, yeah, the belly's like not gonna get there fastest. And whereas in the past, my marches would always lose health. I would always get in these annoying situations where some of the marches were getting really low, and they would die, and then I'd be like killing marauders with like 3 or 4 marches while the other one walked back. Everyone is staying at full health, which is amazing. And I chalk that up to 2 things. I chalk that up to armaments, and I chalk that up to I made the talent trees slightly better on a few of these marches. I gave them all the heal that's in the peacekeeping talent tree. I believe it's the capstone. I believe it's the capstone skill, right? Yeah. So like I swapped out Cow's talent tree earlier today, right? I just put this together earlier today. I actually looked on Discords to see if there was a peacekeeping talent tree for Cow, and there wasn't one. But yeah, I made sure that all my marches have this, the heal after each kill, and I think that's helping a lot too. And I think using Lohar instead of Boudica non-prime is good, because Lohar has a better heal than Boudica has. You know, Lohar gets 2,000 healing factor after leaving battle, whereas Boudica gets 400 healing after using a skill each time. So the Lohar heal I think is better. I don't think I'm going through 5 skill cycles with Boudica. Banks says, I think the meta would be to do KVK twice and build even more sculpts. Lorenko says, I think I'm in a good spot though, even though I invest in Alex before the update. I have 3 farms, one with 24 million power and the other with 15 million. That is good, Lorenko. That's very good that you're getting your farms, you know, you're rolling really well with your farms right off the bat. You know, Lorenko, what I would suggest with your farms is I would suggest using one farm as actually an alt account that will actually build up troops and will fill flags and forts and rallies in KVK. And then I would use all your other farms to just gather stuff. I mean, if you want to be like super helpful for your kingdom, one of your farms will have a lot of troops. So like my Brian Kuh 1, right? My Brian Kuh 1 has like 400 million kill points because it fills a lot of garrisons. But yeah, farms are key. Farms are definitely key. I would rather have some developed farms than have, you know, 200 extra gold heads like you spent on Alex. The farms are more valuable than the gold heads, quite frankly. Throw a like on the video, everybody, if you have not done so already. Liking the video really helps me out a lot. And there was supposed to be a stream element bot doing some talking, but it hasn't done it. Drees, hello and welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Let me see what this stream element bots should be doing here. Where are you, Cloudbot? Oh, there it is. I have to turn it on, maybe. Okay. Okay. Maybe I had to just turn it on. And I will tell you guys about the KVK here in a minute. Let me get through this quick little batch of Marauders, and then when we walk to the next batch, I'll start to give you the lowdown on the KVK matchup. Drees, thank you for subscribing. Laronka says, yeah, my farm has like 600k tier 4 troops right now, so I'm probably going to use it to their help and not only stay inside the city. Yep. This is the way. As some content creator said recently, it's been going around the content creator world. If you're someone who does not fight in the open field, then you're no better than a farm. Which I don't take as an insult to players. Like, I don't take that as an insult to mains. I take that as a compliment to the value of farms. If there are literally main players in this game who are putting in a lot of time and effort, who are relatively... like, they're pretty friggin' committed to the game. Like, they're committed enough to have a well-prepared account that actually fills stuff up during war. They, like, port to the war zone and fill rallies and garrisons. Like, that's a pretty committed player right there. But they're actually still doing the exact same role as someone's alt account is doing. That's not an insult to the main, or it's not like a big insult. That's just a compliment to farms. Critical, welcome. Should I train fresh T4 or train tier 2 and then upgrade my tier 2? I just train fresh tier 4. I think maybe people would do the tier 2 training thing for event related stuff. But that's a lot more micromanagement because you have to like train 2 or 3 times a day. I would just train fresh tier 4. I mean, critical, once you get like a little bit more advanced, right? Or depending on how big of a player you get, depending on how many farms you have, the play is really to train tier 4, you train fresh tier 4, and then you upgrade the tier 4 to tier 5 during events. Now, it sounds like you're probably not at tier 4 yet, so you could do the same kind of idea with tier 2 to tier 4, but I don't think it's really worth it. I don't think it's worth the extra effort. I think you'd be better off focusing that extra effort on other things like doing all the events and, you know, developing farm accounts and chaining barbs and KVK, stuff like that. You know. If you want to reach those events where you need to make 10k troops a day, I would go for tier 4 and then upgrade them. That's true. That's what I do, right? I will train tier 2 during the Warpath event, I think it is. There's 2 events. There's the event that gives you a bunch of training speed ups, and then there's the event that gives you legendary keys. For those 2 events, I will train tier 2 in order to get those rewards. But that's the only time I train tier 2, are those 2 events. And only when I remember. There's plenty of times I forget and just train tier 4 instead and miss out. Let me open some satchels again. I got a bunch of satchels built up. And let's grease the wheels of commerce. I really need to grease the wheels of commerce here. I've got a major backlog of Temple of Artemis. Oh my gosh, there's nothing happening. I need to open up trade here. Oh, there's the Streamlabs bot. All right, so I have figured out how to get Streamlabs bot to send periodic messages to the chat. Good. The wheels of commerce are being greased. All right, where are we going after this? What seed is our kingdom? Dries, we are an A seed. We are a mid to high A seed. Actually, we're basically like a high A seed at this point. Actually, I heard that the 1093 page had gotten updated very recently. So let's see where we rank. Let's see where we rank. Did it get updated? It did. Yeah, so we are... One second. Let me change a couple things. All right. Yeah, so Dries, we're 44th. We're ranked 44th overall. And our main competition in this KVK is 1818, and they are ranked 70th. But you can see that we have very similar KP. And 1818 is Cigar King's Kingdom. Here, let me show you what our KVK matchup looks like. Where is this? Right here. All right. So this is the matchup. It is, we're in blue. We're the blue camp. It is the blue, red, and green camp against purple, gray, and orange. And you see that we are the strongest camp by kill points. And let me just gradually explain the KVK to you while I continue to kill Marauders, because I want to be mad efficient here. I think the KP is like a little bit misleading because our ally is 556, right? 556 is obviously a very famous kingdom that has had a lot of players leave, and there's probably a lot of inactive players there. So, you know, I don't know that this KP in 556 is quite accurate. The first alliance that was made in this diplomacy period was orange and purple allied. So these two camps here allied right off the bat. And I think that's a decent sign that orange is... orange feels like it's at least as strong as green camp. And I think the expectation is that we are about the same strength as purple camp, Cigar King's Kingdom. So that's kind of how... And then red and gray are pretty similar as well. You'll see that their KPs are pretty similar. Red has more power. I mean, red does have more power, so that's worth noting. But, you know, with these alliances that do like 35 billion KP, you don't know how much fighting they actually do. So, you know, it's one of those things where I think on paper, it probably looks like we have the advantage. And I would agree that we are the favorites to win the KVK. But it's also worth noting that the enemy team is actually the one that picked the allies. And so I think that represents a good amount of strength on their side too. So it just seems like a very fair KVK, honestly. I think it's going to be like a really good fight. I think it's going to be a really, really good fight. Dree's 1093 are my opponents. Well, Gray is bad AF for an A seed. They might not be A seed, right? They might not be A seed. Like, here, we can check, right? This is 2260 and 2542. They might not be an A seed. They might be B seeds, to be honest. I'm not sure. Okay, so they're A seed. And what was it? 2520? 2542. So yeah, 2542 is also an A seed. So yeah, I guess they are A seeds, but I mean, there's a lot of A seeds at this point, right? There's like 500 A seeds or something. I sent the stats of top 300 of our allies in officer chat yesterday if you want to see. Oh yeah, Bogus, I did see that. I did see that. Let me take a look at what that looks like. If that would be interesting to people. Oh my gosh, we chat so much. Our officer chat has so much stuff. Can we show this? Can we show this? Yeah, we can show this. Yeah, so this is the top 300 KP of our allies. The dead numbers are kind of, I don't know, I can't tell what the dead numbers mean, but looking at the KP, like 419 million on 556, 407 on 418, 560 million on 1718. So yeah, I mean, like, to me, our allies seem really strong, honestly. Niga, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the $1 dono. I hope that showed up on the screen. Did everyone see Niga's donation and his message? Big Brian, take. Hopefully everybody saw his donation, because that is the idea. But thank you so much, dude. Yeah, Drees, I did see that you guys are winning your zone in San Pedro. So I was really glad to see that happen, because it does make the KVK a bit more interesting, right? If you guys are able to control that third zone 6, that means that 1093 has to either break through 1307 or what is perhaps more likely, you did not see the donation. Crap. All right, I'm gonna have to work on that. I will have to work on that. Thank you for letting me know. No, man, I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. You know, donations and memberships and stuff like that are going to be important for the channel for sure. I will be very honest that stuff really is kind of what's going to sustain me. I'm really not hoping for a lot out of this channel. I'm just hoping for enough to make it seem like my time and effort is worthwhile. Just a little bit of a side hustle, you know? And so you are contributing to that side hustle. And I will absolutely figure out how to get the donations to be visible in the future. Because I think the new subscribers do pop up. I feel like the new subscribers do pop up. And so I just need to figure out how to get the donations to pop up as well. Thank you for letting me know that, Paranoia. Edries, that's good. I mean, I do like that those Warriors Unbound KVKs are more interesting than they looked at first. You know, the fights in Zone 5 were not super interesting, but even though I played Warriors Unbound, I was not smart enough to realize the implications of being able to get set up in zone 5 around your own passes, or getting set up in zone 6 around your own passes, and then making it like super hard for the enemy to get in the zone. Because they can't fort drop. You can just flag around all the holy sites. So they can't fort drop. And so 1093 is like pretty slowed down right now. And it's making the war much more grueling, like way more grueling. And more interesting as well. When I did sub, it didn't show 2. Oh, it didn't. Oh, you know what? You know what? I might not have notifications on. Oh, that's what it is. I didn't have it on. Okay. Okay. It should show now. So if anybody else wants to sub or donate, I think it's going to show up. I think it's going to show up. Because I didn't have that turned on, is what was going down. I'm sure somebody will subscribe later on in the stream, and we will hopefully see it. It's fun, no Rise of Forts. I mean, it's still Rise of Forts, though, because you guys are like... Here, let me move this mic a little bit. It's still Rise of Forts just because you guys can fort up at the passes. Oh, what was I going to say about that? What was I going to say about that? Yeah, I just didn't realize that was going to happen. I just didn't realize that you could set up and block people's entrance into Zone 6. It definitely just makes Warriors Unbound like way more grueling than I thought, right? The thing that I don't like about Strife of the Eight is that it's just like super grueling. Like that week you spend at the level 6 passes is either super boring or super grueling. And I don't love that. I don't love the endless wars. I like there to be fighting and then a break and then more fighting. But like the way that Warriors Unbound is set up, I honestly think it's probably going to be like the most intense KVK, honestly. Because like you can invade the whole map, or you can invade all 3 zone 6s, and you have to defend at those level. You have to break through the enemy at their passes into zone 6. It just feels to me like Warriors Unbound is going to be super, super grueling. Like in general, it's going to be super grueling. All right, Dries, take it easy. Yeah, but no like 10 forts in one spot. Right, exactly. Right, exactly. I mean, Orleans is probably going to be grueling as well, getting through the fort walls. But at least in Orleans, you have like the super strong swarming, which takes the grueling part of it out a little bit. But I mean, I do think Warriors Unbound is like a very good map. There's a few issues with it, but I think what we're seeing now with these past battles in both of them, it makes it very challenging, right? Like 1093 and 960, they really have to work for it at this point. Like they are really, really working for it. Now, granted, they could chill out. They could chill out and just not attack and not try to break into this zone 6, and they can just take over the other zone 6 and then end it in Kingsland. Allies, yes, I will show you the allies. The allies are going to be the 3 kingdoms circled in blue. So us, the blue camp, the red camp, and the green camp against purple, orange, and gray. So this is what the KP looks like. We have the most KP. Then it's green, but green is a little bit over. Green is bloated just because, 556 probably has some dead KP here. Third is going to be purple, which is Cigar King's Kingdom. Fourth is going to be orange, which has Lost, which is a very successful kingdom. Then red, then gray. So that's how it's looking. And yeah, the enemies made their alliances first because they wanted a tough KVK. And they are definitely going to get a tough KVK. I really give them a lot of credit for arranging things as they did. You know, maybe they know something that I don't know, but they definitely have a tough KVK in front of them because our camp is very strong. We have a very, very strong camp. What I think is going to happen, what I think will happen is that Orange will attack into this zone 5, and they will fight against Green, right? This is going to be a pretty key fight here. Because Green can get locked in. This is the thing. Green can get locked in. If Green cannot beat Orange here, then Green will be locked in. And so Green has to either win or really wear down Orange or just hold on to some territory so they can break out later. And then Gray might fight Red here. I'm not sure. But there might be a 1v1s with both of our allies that we will just have to watch. And then once the Zone 6 is open, we will have some very interesting decisions about what to do. I'm gonna kill a few of these Guardians just because I need them for the Lucerne scroll stuff. And I think there might even be an event going on right now, right? What is going on right now? Oh, this. Yeah. Is there anything? No, there's nothing Guardian related here. Alright. I guess I shouldn't kill too many of these Guardians. Kind of pointless. Are we in first place yet? We're still not in first place, man. Shout out to 1718. Their activity for being a One Alliance kingdom, a One Alliance Korean kingdom. It's like 4 a.m. in Korea right now. Their activity is fantastic today. Absolutely fantastic. I'm like very impressed that they are actually beating us right now. It's tilting me a little bit, but I'm also impressed. All right, I'm in the top 100 now. And we're just moving up the ranks. You can tell that it's like it's late in Korea because there's like so little action going on the trade list in the Korean Alliance. We are in the Korean Alliance today because we're registering for Osiris League later. So we're gonna do a joint. Osiris League team. 15 players from both alliances. So we need to register for that later, and that is why I'm over here in N70S. Oh, it's Captain's birthday. I need to pick a good emoji. We need the party emoji in here. What the heck? We'll give a cat kissy face to our fearless leader captain. I got pass 4 opening tomorrow on Siege of Orleans. Oh, I'm glad you let me know that, Paranoia, because I did notice that a bunch of those should be soon, and I didn't know when it was. Long night tomorrow. Yeah, I'll tell you the one that I'm going to spectate. And hey, Paranoia, what time is your pass opening? Because I'm curious to see what 1871, our old enemies 1871. I'm curious to see what they're doing. Because so they're in green, right? They're in green, and there's like a pretty strong camp in yellow, orange, whatever you want to call it. And I was just like curious to see what was going to happen here. Like, are they allies? It doesn't really look like it, right? It doesn't look like they're allies. So like, I think maybe 1871 is going to fight this kingdom here. 3 stars. Like, looks like a Chinese kingdom. Are their other allies good? And then their allies also have 3 stars? So I was thinking 1871 might have a fight tomorrow that I'll be curious to watch, because we really don't like these guys at all. They stole a star from us. Wait, that's not their main. That's not their main. Yeah, we really don't like these guys. So I'm hoping to see them get their butts kicked tomorrow. If they are they gonna fight? Oh gosh, it's hard to tell. Oh, so they have a pretty good ally too. They're allied with 1019. Anyway, so yeah, Paranoia starts at 1511. I would imagine this one starts around the same time. So I am going to stream again tomorrow. I'm going to kill Marauders again tomorrow. And maybe we will check out some of these Orleans that are going to kick off. Orhan says, what is your immigration requirement when you guys done with KVK? Orhan, our migration requirements are going to be quite strict in the future. Our alliance only has about 20 to 25 open spots. So we are going to be very selective. Our immigration requirements will go up. They're about to go up. We haven't decided on exact numbers yet. I was thinking, in my head, I was thinking 2.5 million KP and 15 million deads. I think those are going to be about the minimum requirements. I mean, if you have like 2.3 million KP and 15 million deads, we would certainly consider you. But our requirements are going to be very, very high. Because we just don't have much open space. We don't kick players out very often. We're not a cutthroat type of kingdom that, you know, kicks people out if they have one bad KVK. We prefer to find people and come to some sort of compromise. So we don't have a lot of turnover. We don't have a lot of open spots, and so our requirements will be quite high. What I just said might be a little bit high. Maybe it's going to be like 2 billion KP and 15 million deads, but something around there. Something around there is minimum requirements. But I mean, we'll see, right? Anything could happen in this KVK, right? We could underperform and fall apart overnight. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's always possible. I don't want to act like I feel a little bit uncomfortable acting like we're super selective when we're about to go to war. You know, we're pretty much at square one. We have done nothing in this game. We have a clean slate in front of us, and we have to take what's in front of us very seriously and play our best. So we'll worry about migrants after this war is over, and hopefully we'll be in a very good position where We are looking for elite players to join us, and there are elite players who want to join us. But first things first we have to win this war. And before we win the war, we have to spend our AP killing Marauders. I must have a top 1% barb killing setup in this game, because not many people have as much tier 4 cav as I have, right? I've got just under 1 million tier 4 cav, so I'm moving around the map really fast. But I also have 5 very good cavalry secondary commanders that can help me kill faster and move faster. So I can't imagine there's many people who have a better, faster Marauder killing setup than me. Feels good, man. And I've also got the Diao Chan. You know? The rare Diao Chan. Who's like a really good commander. It's like she's a really good peacekeeping commander. And no one else she's like not available anymore because this Dynasty Warriors promo like didn't really work out. So Diao Chan's like a great peacekeeper, who is absolutely in my starting lineup. Do I have Zug? Yes, I have Zug. I'll show you my Zug in a second. Zug's what I'm building right now. I am building Zug right now. The gold heads that I got in Arawak earlier, they will be going into Zug. Oh, this is a nice clump. This is a nice little spot here. Looks like we're on fresh territory. Nobody's been hunting over here for a while. Oh yeah, this is real fresh territory. Alright. Alright, so we'll zip through a bunch of Marauders here. Netsu says I'm doing 4 tier 4 archer marches and 1 tier 4 cav march. Yeah, that's good. That's good too. Better than tier 5 anyway. Once again, happy birthday to Captain. One of the absolute GOAT leaders in this game. One of the absolute best and most accomplished female leaders in all of Rise of Kingdoms. She is an absolutely super critical piece to this kingdom succeeding. There are very few successful international plus Korean hybrid kingdoms in this game. Obviously, kingdoms like this can work. It works with 1365 as well. But, you know, there is a language barrier. There are cultural differences. You know, Korean gaming culture is more sophisticated than gaming culture here in the West. But we have made it work here in 770, and Captain is a super key part of that. Like, she's just very good at relationship building. You know, I'm not that good at relationship building, and so Captain and the relationship between Captain and I has grown very slowly over the years. But she's been like a really good part of that, where she's just always respected me, always been friendly. Um, and I just think she's a great person, honestly. And yeah, hopefully this next year she has in her life is as good as the last one in this game, and as well as in her life. She's definitely been like a big part of a very interesting experiment. You know, a multicultural kingdom in this game is fairly rare, but it's worked very well here. And it's been really fun to get to know like what Korean people are like in a way that I would never have been able to understand if I didn't experience it in this game. Which I basically would say, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be like stereotyping, and I also like don't know what I'm talking about, but I think the main takeaway I have about Korean people is that they're much less serious than I thought. I think they're Western. They have Western sensibilities in many ways, or they just have similar sensibilities to us in many ways. And yeah, they're just like way more fun-loving than I ever would have thought. Like they kind of like take the game less seriously than we do in a lot of ways, which is very interesting because they're still very good at it and they still go very hard, but the sort of the skill and the seriousness almost seems to come more naturally to them. Like we have to kind of force it. We have to like create a vibe that we're serious, whereas the Koreans are very jokey and very sort of trolly and memey, and they just sort of like turn on the serious face when they need to. Paranoia said, I did some testing for Siege of Orleans. If you put Alexander the Great's second skill on any of your marches, Zug active skill doesn't work on it, FYI. If you put Alexander the Great's second skill on any of your marches, Zug active skill doesn't work on it. All right, so this will be a good chance to Zug debuff to translate as exhaust. All right, so I'll show you guys my Zug, where it's at, and then I can look over his skill again. His active doesn't work on it. Oh, the Zug active does not work. Okay, let me go through Alex first. I don't know Alex very well, because I'm one of those crazy people who never built Alex. I built Khan instead. All right, so while on the map, troops led by this commander are immune to all damage reduction debuffs. They're immune to all damage reduction debuffs, okay? And their normal attacks have a 10% chance. Okay, so Zug does the damage reduction, right? Zug does damage reduction. Yeah. Where's my Zug? Oh, here he is. Do I have points? I do. Let's put another skill into Zug here. Let's level Zug up. There we go. And then Zug's fourth skill is better than his third, right? Skill damage bonus 20%. And a 10% chance to increase archer attack. But then this is the marquee skill that does extra damage. So yeah, the fourth skill is better for sure. Yeah, so, okay, so, all right, cool. Oh, so that's really interesting, Paranoia. That's like great advice. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's like, that's very interesting. Don't ally with big Korean kingdoms. Well, allies, like the thing is that, you know, I don't know how big 770 is going to get, but I do feel like 770 and 365 are, I don't know. I just think like either one of our kingdoms is going to potentially play like a very interesting role diplomatically in future KVKs. Because I do think 1034 is on the rise. And so it's like, I don't know. I just feel like, what am I saying? Well, okay, basically I expected there to be more strong Korean kingdoms in this game. And I thought that we would be like this group that could ally with Korean kingdoms, like not well known but super powerful Korean kingdoms, I always expected that we would be able to ally with them in some big KVKs and sort of like score these like upset victories against like very well known kingdoms. But I guess ultimately there's just like not very many like strong Korean kingdoms. Like there's 1034, but other than that, it's like, well, it's you guys, it's 365, but you're not like, I wouldn't call you guys a Korean kingdom. I wouldn't call us a Korean kingdom. We just have Korean alliances. You know, that's like great info about Alex, because I think the deal is, right? For people like me, right? Like if that's what Alex's second skill does, then that's like so powerful that, you know, I almost want to be using like a reset on Alex, right? I mean, I have a lot of resets. So I almost want to do a reset on Alex and try to roll it into the second skill. And so like anyone who doesn't have Alex, I think we'll probably tell them to do exactly that. Use resets on Alex and try to get some points. Oh, you only need one, right? You only need one, you only need 1 point in it. Oh, okay, never mind. Forget what I said. I mean, obviously you want the other stuff here. You want the other stuff, but you don't necessarily have to re-roll for it. But I'll re-roll. I'll re-roll Alex and try to get some points into his second skill. For Orleans. Do you recommend... Niga says, do you recommend building Joan for Nevsky or building Zhang Yu? Build Joan. Build Joan for sure. Yeah, you just need the 1 point. That's crazy. That's so strong. Yeah, I think we're starting to slowly do the theory crafting on the Siege of Orleans skills. We saw a list that someone had made, and then we were like, oh wait, we can do better than this list. Let's just make our own. So people are starting to talk about it. I'm kind of more the guy who listens, and I like listen to what the theory crafters have to say, and then I communicate those ideas to our player base. But I probably should prod them a little bit and get some of those discussions going in a more formalized way. I guess we need to wait to see the map, right? Do the Siege of Orleans skills change? Like on each map, are the available skills different, or are the skills the same on every Orleans map? I actually don't know that. Because, you know, obviously like Bastion skills change. Every Heroic Anthem you go into, the Bastion skills are different. I do wonder if Orleans is the same way. Thank you all for hanging out. Be sure to throw a like on the video. That really helps the channel out a lot. Paranoia says, for me, I wanted to finally bring 5 marches into the field, but Orleans cut it to 3, so it has its pros and cons. Yeah. I think I'm gonna be okay just because I have like a very old account, so I have like all these. I have a lot of bullshit marches that I can at least use the skill on. Like I know Constantine's skill is sick. I think in the Orleans that I saw, it was Constantine's second skill, which is just like a fantastic skill. And so I'm like one of those crazy people who has this skill. I've got Khan, I've got Theodora, right? I've got Theo, I've got YSS, I've got a lot of old commanders that I don't use anymore who have like really good skills. I mean, most people have Charles at this point, but I could even not use Attila Takeda, maybe. I could bench either Attila Takeda or Saladin YSG. Either one. Either one. Natsu says, now the second skill is the first slot, the third skill is the second slot, so if you put Alex on first slow, it will be Alex's second skill. First slot, it will be Alex's second skill, I think. Paranoia says, Orleans commanders you have, you can use any of their skills. Only thing that applies is how far you are into KVK. For example, you can you can't right away in day one put YSS on your garrison, for example. So can you pick any skill? Oh, you can. So you can use any of their skills. That's insane. That is wild, man. Oh, so there's like a lot of theory crafting, because you literally pick what skill you want to use, and you can use it for any commander. Okay, so that's absolutely crazy. So I have to like decide if, you know, I want to use one of Attila's skills, or if I want to use the Attila Takeda March. I have to decide if I want to use one of Saladin's skills, or if I want to use the Saladin YSG March. So, man, there's like a ton to think about. There's a ton to think about. Wow. Paranoia says, so I'm about to get the Pass 5 opening, and there's around 3 more Chronicles to do before Generation 2 Commanders open. Oh, that's right. It goes as the KVK goes on, more Commanders open up. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, so I think our kingdom has like a nice advantage. And this is part of why I felt okay about Orleans, even though it does seem like there's kind of some annoying balance stuff with the auxiliary skills and swarming and stuff. The reason I was like okay with the map is because I just think we have like a nice advantage by being a bunch of old accounts. You know, we just have a lot of old players in this kingdom. Like even the migration we just got in. The migration we just got in was from a very old kingdom. It was people from 1252. So they have really old accounts also. It's honestly like really unfortunate that we're not going to be able to fight in Zone 5. I mean, we might be able to fight. You know, 903. 903 might attack us. They might attack us. I hope they do, but I would expect that they're going to attack green, because they're going to want to lock in green. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to use the Generation 1 advantage at all. We're going to have to wait for Generation 2. Aux skills are crazy strong. They will change it after Chisgo's crying. Well, I don't know that Chisgo is wrong, Alloys. I think he's probably correct that they need to be nerfed a bit. So I think it's good if they do listen to Chisgo, which it's hard to tell how much Lilith listens to Chisgo. But if they do listen to him, I think that'll be a good thing in this situation. But it'll be interesting to see how the auxiliary skills play out in these smaller Orleans KVKs. Because like when you know, when 1429 and 1671 fought along with 2755 and 2268, I mean, Plato streamed that KVK, right? He streamed the friggin' KVK. We got to see that KVK in action in real time, and we didn't feel like auxiliary skills were crazy overpowered. We didn't feel like auxiliary skills were, you know, game-breaking things. So I think maybe in normal or smaller KVKs, auxiliary skills are not going to be like so annoying and so game-changing. Because I mean, like, they weren't swarming flags like crazy. When I would watch the 2268 war in Zone 6, a lot of times what their enemies would do is 1671 and 2755, they would double rally. They would be double rallying flags. They weren't just mad swarming flags. They were just double rallying them. So, I mean, maybe they played it wrong and they should have been swarming. That was also in Zone 6, not in Kingsland. But when I watched Kingsland, when I watched 1671 versus 1429, there wasn't a ton of swarming. There was definitely not a lot of swarming because that whole northern area was a stalemate, right? Like, Even when 1671 started to go to bed and 1429 had the field advantage, there wasn't a ton of swarming. There just wasn't. Now, maybe they didn't play it right, but... Nats says, imagine the all damage from Wu 2nd, YSS 3rd, and Elsid 4th for Garrison. I could, I do have Wu. I do have some points into Wu. I do have some points into Wu. What'd you say? Wu 2nd. Well, this commander's leading the garrison. All troops led by this commander deal 10% increased damage and 10%, so it's 20% damage. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to rank all these skills. We're gonna have to rank all these skills, aren't we? Good God. We're gonna have to rank all the skills, aren't we? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Because, I mean, how do you evaluate some of these skills? How do you evaluate, like, Wu's 2nd versus... Like, what's the best Theo skill? Probably not that skill. Not that skill. Well, this is 10% damage. Yeah, this is not as good. 10% increased defense. Yeah, I guess Theo's not as good as Wu, is it? That's kind of weird. Wu literally has a skill that is objectively better than Theo's skills. Interesting. I think Buddha-Kazuj will be bombing KVK. Ellis says it's only in Kingsland when the 3rd auxiliary skill unlocks, then swarming is OP. Now everyone knows, and Kings will play Kingsland different. Yeah, I guess. I'm surprised 1429 and 1671 didn't really realize it. Because, I mean, all you really have to do is, like, swarm one flag, see that you had an even trade or a positive trade, and then you're like, well, I guess we should keep swarming. Yeah, good call out, Natsu, on the Wu. That's got me a little excited for the Wu, you know? I'm gonna have to do some like major gambling on that Wu and try to get that 2nd skill maxed. I've got like a decent number of heads, so I have a decent chance of doing it. Yeah, like talent resets are like way more valuable than they used to be. Talent resets. Oh, so talent resets are cheap too. So we can just like buy a ton of talent resets from the Alliance shop and really optimize our skills. All right. All right. I can dig it. I can dig it. Yeah, this is good. I'm glad you guys are talking about this stuff because I love thinking out loud, you know? I love actually realizing some things in real time because this is something where we actually have to really think about and start talking about, is getting everyone very prepared with the auxiliary skills. And I think the main thing is going to be a tier list. Literally put out a tier list of how good each skill is. Paranoia, put 2nd skill Edward, 3rd skill El Cid, 4th skill YSG. Oh, on Buddha-Kazug. You know what's hilarious, Paranoia? I put gold heads into Edward also. I have all this bullshit. I have all of these bullshit auxiliary skills. See, I put stuff into Edward also. Because I was obsessed with March speed when the game came out. I was obsessed with March speed, and so I was like, oh, Edward has 30% March speed. And I thought about actually building this dude for a while. Like, even though I had no other archer commander, I didn't even have YSG, I was like, maybe I should build Edward for the March speed. Okay, so that's why everyone was using Constantine's second skill. Because it's like pretty easy to roll into. And it's like so good. Because I mean, Wu has 20% all damage, but Constantine has 40% health. I mean, the all damage is better, but not by a ton. Dude, how is 1718 beating us? What is going on? What time is it in Korea? Oh, it's only 2 a.m. in Korea. All right. It's only 2 a.m. in Korea. Thank you all for hitting the like on the video. Thank also to the new subscribers during this stream. We got off to a bit of a slow start with the viewership, but it has been nice and steady for a long time. The chat's been active, and hopefully everybody's enjoying it. It's making time fly by while I kill these Marauders, that's for sure. And hopefully it is making your grinding go faster as well, or be more enjoyable. Gosh, I really hate this mouse. I'm using like a silent mouse. If any of you feel like my movement is unimpressive or my mouse clicking is unimpressive, it's because I'm using a silent mouse that I just really do not like. I am just not a fan of wireless mice, man. I need to find a wired silent mouse. That is what I need, a wired silent mouse. Also, Tommy Poison stack is broken. I heard it doesn't expire. Hearing me talk makes you relaxed. I love it. Love it. No, it's all good. I mean, when I was younger, I think I would be sort of a little bit maybe insulted or tilted by the idea that people are not here for my content, that they're here just because I just have this voice that randomly is a good voice for YouTube. You know, because I didn't do anything to have this voice. It's just, you know, genetics and dumb luck to have a voice that people like. And so when I was younger, I'd be like, man, that's bullshit that they are into something that I have no control over. They should be into my talent or blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm older, I literally love that, you know, these built-in, sustainable, repeatable strengths, if those are the things that make me more successful in anything, then I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. It's like I type for a living, right? I'm a transcriptionist. And the main reason I'm really good as a transcriptionist is because one, I have like small hands with thin fingers, and two, I've just been typing since I was a kid. I typed when I was very young, and so I learned that skill. I learned that muscle memory at an age when my brain was at its most powerful in terms of learning new skills. And so like I'm not good as a transcriptionist for any like special talent. I'm just good at it. I'm just really good at it because I have the right fingers for it, and I learned how to do it at a young age. And like that's fine. Like who cares what reason you're successful at something? Just be glad you're successful. But yeah, it's good that my voice is relaxing because I do have a little bit of trouble with volume control, and sometimes my mic has to clip what I say. So I'm always trying to get a little bit smoother. The videos that have done the best are the videos where I talk the smoothest. But this mouse is not smooth. This mouse is like literally performing worse now than it did an hour ago, which is effing insane. I never use this mouse when I'm fighting. When I'm doing any fighting, I'll use a mouse that has a bit of a click to it. This is like literally bugging out right now. See ya, Paranoia. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for the really good info about auxiliary skills. Alright, this thing is actually bugging out. I'm just gonna go to my clicky mouse. Yeah, this thing is like, the battery's dead on here or something. Yeah, my sensitivity on my clicky mouse is like super, super high. So I just like get in a groove where very short mouse movements are all I need to do. It seems like people didn't disappoint that KVK like Nile now. No, I think the new KVKs are both quite good. I think they're both quite good. I'll be curious which one I like better. I kind of think I'm gonna like Warriors Unbound better. Because it's gonna be annoying to move auxiliary skills around as a garrison captain. That's why that woo skill is amazing, because it's just for garrison, right? So I can just leave it on my Jan Ziska. Yeah. And then YSS must have like a good garrison skill also. What's YSS best skill? That's definitely not it. 30%. Oh, this is it. So this doesn't need, this could be in the field, but not like amazing in the field because it's under 50%. So I could leave the woo and the YSS skill on my garrison all the time. Oh, this one's good too, though. Oh, this one's good too. The fourth skill on YSS is good too. 30% counterattack. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, Natsu, which one's better on YSS in this format when there's so much swarming. You kind of wonder which one's better. I mean, this skill is amazing for sure. This skill is definitely amazing. I guess this has to be better, right? 20% damage is like so much better than 30% counterattack. And then the shield, what is it? They get 20% attack at 10% extra. Yeah, the third skill is a lot better. Where did this other mouse bug out? All right, we're moving up the ranks now. But we are literally getting gapped at 17, 18. So how much AP do I have left? I'm going through all these. So I got 4K, like 42K, 46K. I'm actually getting through all this AP like really quick. Way faster than I expected to. I mean, when I counted my AP last night, I had 162K. And now I've got, you know, 40, let's say 43K, 47K, 117, 119K. So I've gone through like 42,000 AP already, just like this morning and during this stream. All right, well, we're going through it fast, I guess. Is this going to be speed tuned? Speed tuned oh, this is like not a great speed tune in here. 30, 30. That's good. That's good. Elcid 4th. Wow. 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 25% all damage. Dude, that is just wild, man. These auxiliary skills really are just wild. I think it has to be free-to-play friendly, right? Like these auxiliary skills have to be free-to-play friendly overall, because it just it negates the impact of crystal tech. Like, it absolutely negates the impact of crystal tech. There's no way around that. And I think maybe this might have been a dynamic in the 365 254 KVK, where, you know, some very big spenders were bringing up the point that all that matters is open field control. When maybe in the past they had open field control, but maybe the auxiliary skills reduced the impact of crystal tech and allowed lower spenders and free to play to have more of an impact in the open field and show up in the open field. Where in the past, sometimes open field becomes a playground for whales. I don't know that that's what happened, but I think there's probably some reality to that, that kingdoms like 846 and 365 were able to roll in bigger numbers because of the auxiliary skills, neutralize the impact of crystal tech. I think that's a dynamic that might have happened in that KVK. It would be really interesting if they keep the auxiliary skills like they are, and it becomes like a very popular KVK format because people don't feel the need to spend as much on crystal tech, or free to plays feel like it's a more even playing field. That would be super interesting, actually. For those who don't understand what I'm saying is that when you add, okay, so like when you add more skills, that neutralizes the impact of all the other skills. So, like when armaments came into the game, armaments neutralize the impact that Crystal Tech had. Because if it used to just be like equipment and Crystal Tech, that's two categories. When a third category comes in, it mitigates or lessens the impact of the existing two categories. Because you have more total stats. You have more total stats on your marches. And therefore the relative value of the old stat categories is less. And auxiliary skills is just another, when you add armaments and auxiliary skills into this game, you do reduce the impact that Crystal Tech has. You just do. And I think that's probably a positive thing. I mean, as we roll into, you know, the second half of Rise of Kingdoms' first decade, you know, they are adding some spending with armaments, but it doesn't seem like people are spending a ton of money on armaments. And they're adding these auxiliary skills that is minimizing Crystal Tech. And I do think that's the direction ROK needs to go, right? Is they just need to make it, less of a spending game. Like, let's keep the player base large. Let's keep the player base large. Let's keep, you know, encouraging new people to come in. And then just see where that takes us. Let's see where that takes us. Let's not just try to gouge players. Let's not try to make as much money as we made in year 2 of ROK. Let's just make a very healthy game with the expectation that maybe, just maybe, we'll all still be playing it 5 years from now. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. I'm certainly, I certainly haven't taken any steps to build a YouTube channel that is, you know, oriented towards other games, or would get this community to follow me somewhere else, because, you know, I don't have a Discord and haven't shared my personal Twitter with any of you. But, you know, so I think if ROK died, I think this channel would be in a bit of trouble. So I'm just hoping that ROK continues to do well, so I can, so that the flaws in the way I've built this channel will not be exposed, and people will keep tuning in. So, last season I got 251 Kingdom supply chests. It looks like I'm well on my way to getting more than that this time, which is very good. That's a good sign, actually, because I also did a lot of chaining in the last Lost Kingdom, so it's not like I saved my AP or anything. I'm literally just using a ton of AP and then refreshing it in the off season. And it looks like I'm refreshing more than I'm spending, which is great. I'm curious, for other people, are you guys, now that armaments are in the game, are you guys able to go around and kill Marauders without losing health? Is this just me, or is everybody literally wandering around this entire map and never having to refresh anything? Like, I didn't even need to teleport. I teleported when this thing started. I teleported like over here somewhere. But I could have just kept my I could have kept my city in zone 3 and just walked out here. I could have just walked out here. And related question, are there any better primaries? Are there any better peacekeeping primaries than the 5 that I have that I'm using? I feel like these are probably the 5 best. Am I blanking on anybody? I don't think I am. I don't think Boudica is as good. Kiara, there's no way Kiara is as good. Kiara, does Kiara have a heal? She doesn't. She does not. Okay. Yeah, I must have the 5 best. I must have the 5 best here. Let's see if this is speed tuned. Long ass walk. And it's just perfectly speed tuned. They all will get there fast enough to get the kill. Easy knife, easy life. I am definitely giving him the blade today. Oh, Montezuma! You're right, Natsu. You are right. Montezuma. Dude, I want Montezuma. I actually want Montezuma. I actually want Montezuma. So what's his heal? What's the size of his heal? Okay, let's see. 700. When performing a normal attack against a target inflicted with a reduced health debuff. Oh, it only works when you're... Oh, so this is kind of a janky heal, actually. And it has a max Monty. Yeah, I mean, Monty is like a very good barb chainer for sure. You know, I guess the full kit is enough to make him a very good barb chainer. But I think you make him 5551, so it's the 50% damage to barbs, basically. And that health reduction is quite nice, actually. Yeah, I would like to get Monty to 5511. I don't know that I ever will, but you're right. I do not have the Elite 5. The Lohar, I believe, could be replaced by Monty. Unless the is the Diao Chan better than the Lohar? I bet she is. I bet she is. 25% damage and 5% healing. And he's got 35% damage, 2k after the fight. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Diao Chan and Lohar are kind of close, actually. And I just like the belly because he's fast and I can put the tier 5 troops on him. And he's got some bonus damage to barbs also. Yeah. If I had all tier 4, I guess I could replace the belly with like a Monty. I just like that we're at the point in the game where we are actually theory crafting peacekeepers. Because they're just this like underground economy of grinding, of free-to-play grinding, where this stuff like kind of matters. You know, Monty being a very good barb chainer kind of matters if you do a lot of chaining. How did I just get? I just got... No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Never mind. I mean, that's part of why I think ROK will last a long time, is just because you can do stuff like Barb Chain, and you can do 1+1 forts and save up a bunch of AP and then use it all on Marauders. There's just always going to be people who are like, who will play this game on a very free-to-play or low-spend level. They'll put time into doing these activities, and then they'll fight against other people who put time into those activities. I don't see that going away anytime soon. Even though it's not exactly the most exciting grinding ever. It's not the most exciting grinding, but at least it's like balanced and it's not utterly overbearing. You know, there's a Korean game called Lost Ark, right? And Lost Ark is another game where everyone uses a lot of alts in order to have enough economy to maintain their main account. There's just tons of daily grinding in Ark. It's far more exciting grinding than what I'm doing right now. But it's also very frustrating, and there's a lot of kind of gatekeeping where very high-end players are incentivized to keep out newer players from doing challenging content because they don't want the newer players to screw up their own runs. It's like Soroli Crisis or something, where if one player makes one certain mistake, if, you know, one player doesn't get into the bubble against Kiara, then the whole team wipes and waste their time. That's how a lot of stuff in Lost Ark is. And like, look at this game. Look at the trajectory of this game. A little over a year ago, it had 700k people, average players, and now it's down to 45k players. This is just like an insane steady drop, right? And I'm sure Lost Ark players would say the grinding in ROK is insanely boring, but there's something to be said for doing something that's super relaxing, where you can watch YouTube while you're doing it, where you can do it while you're you know, sitting on the couch. You can do it while you're, you know, taking the bus to work or taking the subway to work. You can do it in bed. You can do it at a poker table. And the rewards for it are like pretty reasonable. The rewards for it are not... The rewards for what I'm doing right now do not make the spending that other people do not worth it. But the spending that people do also doesn't make what I'm doing here pointless either. And so even though the action in Lost Ark is way more challenging and the graphics are better, that game is experiencing a player decline that this game is not. So, we shall see. We shall see what the future holds for this game, but I'm not seeing anything too concerning at the moment. What am I most concerned about with ROK right now? What am I most concerned about? I think I'm concerned about bots. I would be worried if bots are good at open field fighting, and people can just run bots and have like a much bigger army in the open field just because they're cheating and using bots. That's one concern. I don't know that that's happening, but I think the developers should try to think of some ways to make bots less effective in the open field. Like the meta that we have right now, which is that open field is very, very demanding. It requires constant moving forward and back. That is the only thing that's stopping bots from being way too strong in this game. Because I just don't think bots... I think it's fairly hard to program bots to actually fight against us human beings in an effective way. Because we're just like so savage about pulling people in and not getting pulled in ourselves. But I wish they could... I wonder if there's like something else that they could do to make open field even more bot unfriendly. Like, I'm not quite sure. I'm not smart enough to be able to think about what that is, but... What could it be? What could they do to stop bots? I don't know. I'm not sure what it would be. Like, would it be better if like everybody moved faster? Would bots be worse if we all moved faster and we had to like move back and forth even faster than we already do? Would that screw up bots more? Maybe not, because like bots are gonna just like lock in on us, right? They're just gonna like lock in on a march and then they're gonna go overboard with that march. They're not gonna quite know when to retreat. So I mean, like, if we could retreat faster... Hey, Strata, welcome to the stream. Yes, my man. Or, I'm not sure. Anyway, Strata, it's very good to hear from you. You're the first ally to check in on the stream. And so, yes, we are allies, and let's kick some butt, dude. Let's kick some butt. I think we've got a really good team, Strata, so, yeah, man, let's win this thing. Let's win this thing. We were really happy to ally with your camp, and looking forward to working with y'all. I'll tell you what, if 556 and 1418, if you all do your part, if you fight hard and really do damage to the enemy, if you really, pull your weight, do the amount of damage that you need to do, we will win this KVK. We will win it. Because we have a very strong camp. 770 is a very strong kingdom. If you guys do really solid contribution, we will get you guys into Kingsland and we will win this KVK. I'm not going to put a guarantee on that, but I am very confident that that is what will be what happens. If everyone just does their duty, as Stannis Baratheon would say, we will win. How are you guys doing in the Crusader rankings? I feel like 556 was doing decent. Yeah. I mean, 556 is beating the two kingdoms that they will likely face in Zone 5. So, I mean, honestly, the 556 activity is decent here. And 1418's activity is very good. So, yeah, shout out to 556. It's very cool to be allied with a legendary kingdom like that. How are you doing in the Marauder rankings, Strata? Alright, I have very successfully cleared out my backlog. Strata says, gonna be a fun KVK, whatever happens. We don't have huge numbers, but we got some insane fighters. Oh, very glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. And yeah, I think it is gonna be a really fun KVK, honestly. I mean, I'm talking about winning, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be like a really good fight. I think most of the kingdoms are wanting to have a really tough, fun fight. So yeah, I do think you got the right focus there. Let's just have a fun KVK and it'll shake out however it shakes out. You're 44th. Nice. Nice. Ooh. Yeah, I'm just out here exploring the outer regions of the map. I'm playing in the snow a little bit. I've literally never... I don't think I've ever walked on this part of the map in my life. This is like... this is Korean territory over here. I'm usually in this turquoise alliance, so we have access to the southern and eastern part of the kingdom, and this is more like Korean territory over here. So I've never been over here, but it's pretty nice. Nice little nice snowy scenery over here. Nice snow-tipped pine trees. Hello, Credo. Nice to meet you. I'm from 770 as well. Oh yeah, KOP Strata. Nice. I'm gaining on you, Strata. I started this stream at 142nd place, so I'm definitely moving up the ranks. I am planning to stream for another 20 minutes or so. I'm probably going to stop around 18 UTC. Just because I do want to stream again tomorrow, and I don't have that much AP left. I could kill some Marauders on my ult tomorrow. So that's also possible. And I might spectate some of the Orleans KVKs tomorrow. But I kind of had 3 hours in my mind. What's up, video games? Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. You get top 100, then go to sleep and wake up 9999. Not in this one. Not in this one. When I killed my first Marauders, which was about 6 hours after it started, I was in 556th place. So, yeah. I might get pushed out of the top 100 though. It's possible. If I stop soon, I probably won't do much more grinding today, because I have to work and I've got some errands to run. So I might get pushed out of the top 100. I mean, I've got what do I have? 139. Yeah. Honestly, I just wish I had more AP. Like, I really just wish I had more AP. I'm not going to be stopped by time. Like, in no way, shape, or form am I going to stop doing Marauders because I run out of time. I'm going to stop doing Marauders because I use all the AP that I'm willing to use on it. Who is your ally, Brian? I will show you, Credo. even though you literally know more about the diplomacy than I do. Credo's like a very well-connected player in the game. I'm sure most people don't know who Credo is. He's a very, very long-time member of the Handsome Devils. And he's from Moldova, so he speaks, you know, he speaks the same language as other Eastern European countries. And so he gets info about various things that other people do not get information about. He's got like very, very good sources. And he actually, among our group, among, you know, our alliance and our officer chat, Credo is the one who broke the news that 1875 and 1647 were allying before that KVK even started. So we knew that they were going to ally, you know, before the matchups were made. And that did make us nervous, right? We didn't want to get thrown in that that KVK and be stuck against, you know, the two biggest kingdoms in the pop who were already allied with each other. That would have been a tough spot for a, you know, a kingdom like us. But Credo did break that news. He knew about it before just about anybody. I got like 3 million points last KVK, I think. My highest points from Marauder is 6.2 mil. Natsu, was that last KVK? I saw your screenshots from the or I saw your screenshot that you were first in one of these things. Rabbit Gaming, hey bro, which camper? And can you show the kingdoms? Yes, Rabbit, I will show the kingdoms. Here, let me actually just target this Marauder. Since I'm so beautifully speed tuned, let me just target it. I know all my marchers will kill it. And I will show you guys what's going on here. Yeah, so it's going to be a 3 versus 3. We are the kingdom in blue here, or the camp in blue. And we are allied with the other 2 circles in blue, which is the red camp, which is sort of like a smaller sized A camp, and green camp, which is 1418 and 1556. 1418, I believe, is a Vietnamese kingdom, and 1556 is obviously the legendary former Imperium kingdom. And we are going up against Orange Camp, which is led by the Alliance Lost, which has a lot of power, a lot of KP, and has done well in Osiris League in the past, as well as Purple, the Purple Camp, led by Kingdom 1818, which is Cigar King's kingdom. And they are also working with the Gray Camp, which is, again, another smaller couple of A kingdoms. So, you know, we are presumably kind of equal with Cigar King's camp, and the Orange Camp is presumably equal with the Green Camp. And then these two guys are a little bit smaller. And that's the matchup. That's the matchup. Yes, there is a possibility for a zone lock. Orange and Purple are the two. They allied quickly. They were the first alliance to be formed, and that did put Green Camp in a vulnerable position where they can get locked. That's the only lock. That's the only possible lock. I guess we could lock Orange, right? Yeah, we could lock Orange. So either one of these could get locked. So this is going to be a very key fight between Orange and Green, I think. So it should be pretty interesting. I think it's going to be a really good KVK, honestly. Absolutely nothing negative to say about the diplomacy. Our opponents pursued a tough fight. And we were very happy to have a tough fight too, right? I honestly am glad that Orange reached out to Purple, because I don't know what we would have done if Orange would have been open to like a north-south fight. I genuinely don't know what we would have done, because we never even had the option to do that. By the time Adinava woke up and was going to begin the diplomacy, their alliance had already been formed. But I think it's good they did that, because I think they made the KVK more competitive by doing that. So yeah, absolutely zero complaints about the diplomacy. Yeah, we can lock orange as well. Yep, definitely. But, you know, like Rabbit, the thing is, or the way I'm reading the situation is that, you know, Orange Camp willingly formed an alliance that created the possibility that they could be locked. And so obviously they are confident that they're not going to get locked. You know, I'm sure they didn't do that without realizing the potential ramifications, but they went through with it anyway. And so kind of like when Marjorie is in the Sept and is like, hey, you know, Cersei knows the ramifications of not being here, and yet she is not here anyway. There's something behind that. There's something behind that confidence. And so we need to be cognizant of that. AP is almost like oil in this game. It's like this side commodity. It's not money. It's not money per se. It's just this side commodity that's used to make money. I just really feel like I'm running low on oil right now. I'm just looking at my AP. I'm looking at how much time we still have left to kill Marauders. I'm just like, man, I'm low on oil. And yet I literally did everything I could in the off season to get as much AP as I could. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. You go through the AP slowly, or you go through the AP really fast with Marauders, and then you get into the Lost Kingdom and you go through the AP very slowly by chaining barbs the whole time. I should just enjoy this because this is like such easy grinding. I don't have to pay, I barely have to pay attention, and it takes like such little time. You know? If I'm chaining barbs, if I'm like three marching barb chains in LK, I'm going through what, like 10k AP on a stream? Maybe 10k, like at most I'm going through 10k AP on a stream. Whereas I'm gonna rip through like 80k AP on this stream. So Video Games said he got what? Video Games got 3 million points last KBK. Natsu got 6.2. Yeah, I'm at 1 million, right? It's like not even that great. And I started with about 160. And now I've got 110 left. So I've gone through 50. I've gone through half the AP I'm going to use in this event. So I'll get to about 2 million. I'll do about 2 million. Which is respectable. And for those who don't know, the reason that The reason Marauders are so good is simply because these Kingdom supply chests give you everything that you want as a player. They give you materials, they give you speed ups, they give you gems, and they give you resources. They don't blow you away in any of those categories. You're not going to get a ton in any of those categories. I would say probably the speed ups are the most, like, the nicest amount. But it's just like you get a very good amount of each of those things. And so it's a great way to spend your AP. And it's also really fast. Because now that we have armaments, these Marauders just go down like butter. They go down like absolute butter. This is the tough situation that ROK is in, that Lilith is in. Is like, we so massively overpower the current NPCs in this game. We just massively overpower them. You know, we just barb chain, like we don't even friggin' care. You know? I mean, I know 12-inch will put on a troop capacity bonus when he barb chains, but for the most part, we can barb chain without using troop capacity buffs. And so they kind of need to buff up some stuff. They need to buff up the NPCs, but then that would mean that the rewards would get bigger. And if I'm going through the current NPCs this easily, then I'm gonna do even better. I'm gonna do even better if they make some stronger stuff. Because this is just like absolutely trivial. Tsubao, welcome to the stream. Well, we have a huge challenge ahead of us, but we are as confident as orange. Greetings from 56. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's going to be a really key fight. And yeah, I mean, we're definitely rooting for you guys. I agree that it's going to be a tough fight, but yeah, if you guys take that challenge head on, then we will carry you the rest of the way. Yeah, it's going to be cool to play with 56, and you know, it seems like just based on like the activity level and the amount of kill points that are still left in that kingdom, that it sounds like there's like a bit of a rebuild going on there. And you know, if you guys are rebuilding, it would be awesome. It would be absolutely awesome to help you in that rebuild by getting a really nice win in this KVK. That'd be like, I would be very happy to help you guys with any rebuild that's taking place. Artemis, welcome. Paul, welcome to the stream. Glad y'all are here. Video game says Crystal Carwax should be highest difficulty available from the start. It's kind of annoying to have to do it like 5 times. Yeah, video games, that's a good point. They can make the Carwack, the Crystal Carwack tougher. I would also like to see them add sort of these like challenging bosses in the home kingdom like they have in Call of Dragons. Maybe not stationary bosses, but I think it would be cool to have randomly spawning bosses that require a lot of people to kill. And you know, they spawn at random times. It's not announced that they're spawning. Someone has to spot it on the map. And then you get into this sort of social challenge within your kingdom where you have to decide who's going to warp there, who's going to walk there, how many marches are people going to bring, how long are you going to wait? Are you going to wait many hours for a bunch of people to get there and share in the rewards? Or are you going to kill it real quick? If you try to kill it real quick, are you going to have enough people to beat it? I just think it would be cool for them to have some really tough bosses that just kind of randomly spawn in the home kingdom. Or just do something new with the PvE in the game, right? Tibau says, yes, we are in a rebuilding progress. Yeah. That's kind of like the thief event in a way. What's the thief event? Is that protect the supplies, you mean? Yeah, I mean, protect the supplies is decent, actually. But the thing about protect the supplies is, like, you're not really using peacekeeping commanders, you're just using, like, your strongest marches. I think there's something kind of interesting about, equipping some of your commanders with, peacekeeping-based armaments, and them then becoming, stronger than your best marches against certain enemy types. You hit the thief for gold and you level up for chest rewards. Forgot when it comes. Why am I blanking on what event that is, video games? I mean, I know there's the thief thing in Champions of Olympia. Yeah, the COO thief that spawns mid-game, but it's an in-game event. Yeah, I mean, they could literally just do a DPS check, right? They could literally just do a DPS check that's actually challenging. And then, you know, maybe, just maybe, a peacekeeping commander that has just, is absolutely stacked with barb damage, like my Mina is, right? My Mina's got like 35% extra barb damage from armaments, along with the stuff he gets from his own skills. You know, maybe the Mina becomes bigger DPS than a Nevsky or a Zug. I just think that would be interesting. I mean, it's not like super interesting, but it would be cool to add like a little bit more variety to the game. Let us get excited about when I get a good barb armament. I mean, it's kind of interesting because it's good for chaining, but like having good armaments for what I'm doing now, I mean, I'm pretty much capped out, right? Like I can't do any better in Marauders. Like I'm capped out. I'm literally going around the map at super fast pace and never losing any health. You know? So it would be just cool to add another element to the PvE, I guess is what I'm saying. The event that you get the Thief's Cloak to summon the Thief. I do remember that event. Yeah. Yeah. I do remember that event. I don't remember how it worked, but I actually still have them. I still have those things. Where are they? Did they remove them? Oh yeah, see, I still have them. I have like 7 of these Master Thieves. I could summon one to see what it does. I remember what people did is they spawned a ton of them and then like AoE'd them down. Yeah, like newer players, I think newer players won't even know this event. Because they haven't done that thing in years and years and years. It was just kind of annoying, like you spent a lot of AP and you didn't get very good rewards. So I saved them planning to do the AoE at some point. But then I just like forgot about them or have never done them. I should make a video. I should make a video about doing my old Master Daggers and stuff. Be like, hey, look, kids. Back in the day, we used to kill the Master Thief and get very mediocre rewards. I'm so old, Paul, that I forgot it. I forgot the event. Yeah, it was weird. It was like you had to like I almost think you had to rally them. Like you couldn't just like you couldn't solo them. You had to like launch a rally or something. It's sort of like the grabbing the packages that get dropped during Silk Road, where it's like not worth the rewards you get are not worth the AP. The Thief event was kind of like that. Video Game says, I think there was an Alliance version of the Thief event, though. You get a chest reward depending your points you get, unless I'm confusing it with the individual one. No, you did it. Yeah, you did it as a group. Like, a single person would spawn it, but then you had to, like, rally it. I think you had to... I forget if you had to rally it, or if I was near my city, I would literally spawn one of these right now, but... I guess I could spawn one anyway, right? Just to see what it does. Where are they? Why am I not seeing? Oh, here they are. Yeah, so here's this thing. So you get like really shitty rewards. And to attack it, it's what? How much? Oh, it's no AP? Is it really no AP? Oh, it's no AP to... Maybe it's AP to grab the reward? Huh. It's probably AP to get to grab the reward. But it's no AP to kill it? Yeah, I think you're right, Video Games, that there was an Alliance version that's different than what I just spawned. But I can't remember anything about it. They should have a Montezuma event where it's like Lohars, but for endgame. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's actually a great idea. Yep, that's a great idea. I mean, the rewards are better on the Master Thief. The rewards are actually kind of decent on the Master Thief. I'm not quite sure why I never did these. I mean, the rewards now are probably crap, right? The rewards probably scale to the point in the game we're at, or they don't scale to the point in the game we're at. I mean, there's like a lot of niche rewards they could give out by doing just all sorts of different weird events, you know? If they had bosses that just kind of randomly spawned on the map, and you know, like a boss, some kind of DPS boss that randomly spawns in your kingdom, right? And your rewards are based on the amount of DPS that you do, that you personally do. And let's say the rewards are literally just Montezuma heads. So something that doesn't change the game at all, but would just kind of be like, but everybody wants, right? Getting Montezuma heads would not change the game, but everybody wants it. So you have this boss that spawns on the map randomly, and it's a DPS boss. So then the question is, do you tell a small group of your closest friends that this boss has spawned? And then do you go and do the boss with your small group of your closest friends, and you split the Montezuma rewards? Or do you tell your whole alliance? And if your whole alliance knows, does your alliance then tell the other alliances in the kingdom that this boss is up? You know, do you teleport there immediately and do the boss right away? Or do you wait and risk other people finding out? You know, like, these are the kind of things that would actually be interesting. It's sort of like the way we fight over barbed camps right now. Like, there's like a fight, you know, there's a fight between some players in the Handsome Devils and some players in the Korean Alliance over the barbed camps. And we could fight over bosses that spawn on the map as well. And you could reward Montezuma heads, and it would literally just be like straight up fun, and it would create drama, and it would spice things up. Did pre-KBK just start? Yes, yes. We're on first day of the Marauders. Yeah, Ceroli bosses on the map is what I'm thinking. Stuff like a Ceroli boss on the map. Because we could do for a little bit more drama in the home kingdom, I think. I think a little bit, that's like healthy drama. That's fun drama. What's up, Raxiel? This is like the first person I've seen out here. I'm waiting for him to go. See, this is annoying. I don't like other people. I don't like other people being around. Look at this. This is so annoying. I'll slow down and stuff. Paul says, I think something like the big things that are on the map in Call of Dragons, the monsters and stuff that your alliance is supposed to defeat. Yeah, Paul, exactly. Exactly. Monsters like that, but I want them to spawn randomly. I want them to spawn randomly. Because if it's just like, the thing is in ROK now, at this point, where some of us are so incredibly advanced and other people are much newer, if you put just static enemies on the map, it becomes so incredibly trivial, because old kingdoms like ours will just beat it immediately, easily, because it has to be balanced and tuned for younger teams. But if you have like something that randomly spawns, it's not about beating the boss necessarily. It's about the drama around who you tell, how quickly you try to kill the boss. And if you try to kill it like really quickly, if you try to kill it with like 3 people so that you can like split all the rewards, maybe it's tough enough that you would actually fail at it, right? And make it like fill up your hospital. Not like you get, you know, 100 severely wounded. If you literally sad face on these randomly spawning bosses, make them like give you 100k severely wounded. Yeah, so first come, first serve. That would make for some nice beef, lol. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying first come, first serve. But it's like you have to make, like, that's why the Montezuma, I think it was Video Games who said Montezuma rewards. That's why something like Montezuma rewards are perfect, because it's not, it's like something that everyone wants, but it doesn't actually change anything, you know? If it dropped speed ups or something, then it would become like very, there'd be like rules around it, right? There'd be rules like you have to warn everyone. I mean, you could have it be regular rewards too. It doesn't have to be just Montezuma heads, I guess. I'm gonna need to slow down that timer a little bit. I feel like that chat pops up way too often. I think filling up the hospital part is a bit harsh, but for Montezuma heads, maybe. I mean, the filling up hospital part I like, just because if a small group tries to do it like really early on so they get all the rewards, I just think it would be kind of appropriate that if they sad face, they get a ton of severely woundeds, but I guess it doesn't work out perfectly. Because even if you beat it, you would get some severely woundeds, and then it wouldn't really be worth it. So maybe that part doesn't work. All right. I think I am going to wrap up the stream here in a few minutes. I just am planning to stream again tomorrow. I still have a lot of stuff I need to get done today. I've been going for about 3 hours, which is a nice solid amount of time for a live stream. Poker Channel, thank you. Appreciate the feedback. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Always enjoy the active chat. Really makes it fun. This was a great way to kill barbs for 3 hours, or kill marauders for 3 hours. And I'm planning to be back again tomorrow, right around the same time, to kill more marauders. So hopefully some of you will join me for that. But I think I'm just going to kill these 2 marauders here, and then I'll wrap it up. I don't think I'm going to send my marches home. Maybe I'll just leave them out in the field overnight. I don't even know. I guess I should probably send them home and gather. Because I need to do my daily... I need to do these daily quests. Look at this. Can I get this done without going home? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Yeah, maybe I'll leave my marches out in the field. I don't even know. But what do I have left AP-wise? What did I go through? Let's figure out how much I actually went through with AP. Alright. I used 3,000. I used about 12,000 in 1,000 pots. Oh, what did I do here? This is so wrong. It wasn't... I didn't have 302. I think I had 32? So 32 times 50, or 32 times 500 is 16,000. 16,000 and 12,000. And then I used basically 250 pots. This is not even... I don't even think this is correct. Did I really only go through... Did I really only go through 38,000 AP? Is that right? I guess so. I guess I used about... Yeah, I used about 40k AP. I've got 108k AP left. So... tomorrow I can go through maybe 50k AP. I guess I have a bit more left than I thought, but... yeah, I've got about 50k AP I can use tomorrow. Which is fine. And I will probably go over 300 of these chests, which is great. And, yeah, I guess that's the life of a grinder. 40k AP, 3 hours. Thought I used more. Thinking now about staying on and using more, but, yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it here. Thank you all for, hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day in and outside of Rise of Kingdoms. And I will see you all on the flip side.